Hey, what's up, guys? This is Morey from the Performance Lab of California. We're going to do a quick breakdown here of Jake Browning, the quarterback from Washington, one of the top prospects right now in terms of college quarterbacks. I got a couple of requests to do the Jake Browning breakdown, especially after I recently did Sam Darnold. So thought we would go through the breakdown, and I also wanted to do some stuff from this season. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get great angles from the two games this year, but I think we still got enough to be able to look into what Jake Browning can work on, kind of what his overall mechanics are like, and what makes him a good quarterback. So I think one thing that stands out with Jake Browning is he really can do everything very, very well. He's a pretty accurate guy. But he can definitely work on some mechanics that I think would really help out with getting that more elite end throwing power, rather than right now I think he's a little bit more right up kind of in that average range. I mean, he has good timing, he has a good deep ball, everything's good, but he doesn't have anything that's really elite. So when you're talking about transitioning from college to the NFL, he's going to really have to be able to work on things like his release time, his ability to his overall throwing power. His touch is pretty good, but even accuracy, sometimes he struggles. So anyway, we'll go and start the breakdown here. One of the things that stands out is that release time. So you can see he drops the ball here, drops that elbow, makes it so it just becomes a lot longer of a load than it really needs to be. The idea would be to go from here to just bring that ball right up to the side, getting that elbow up, and being able to throw from that position. So one of the big things that the scouts look at when transitioning from college to the NFL is how long does it take to get the ball out of your hands. And it seems like for Jake Browning here, it's not necessarily, it's not going to be an elite time just because of how he drops the ball originally and then goes through the throw from there. So that's going to definitely be something that he can work on. Another thing that he does, he takes a pretty long stride. Okay, so that's going to also make it so your release time ends up lengthening. Okay, so if you stride out a long time, then you have to transition all your weight forward to be able to throw. That's something that I think he can work on. It also will affect your ability to transition your weight forward. So when he's going through the throw, he goes and because of that long stride, he has a long way to go to make sure that all of his weight goes from the back foot to the front foot. And what he actually ends up doing is he stops that transition forward a little bit with those hips a little early, right about there. He stopped, and now he's starting to just push his hips back, and he brings that hip or that trunk forward a lot. Okay, so that's how he kind of compensates for his long stride. Is he doesn't get all of his weight shifting forward and ends up with that slight lean that probably affects his overall throw power, but definitely, so that's definitely something that he can work on. I think if he got a little bit shorter stride, got a little bit more hips into it, then he'd be able to generate a little bit more power. In terms of release time, there's a few things that he can work on to get the release time. What he also does, though, that I like is when he goes with his step, you can see how he kind of keeps that knee inside and allows that foot to go. This is something that is actually kind of rare, kind of hard thing to be able to teach and be able to do. I've struggled being able to try to teach myself how to do it, where you're kind of extending out and keeping that knee in, and then as you transition through, now you have some room to move within the foot and within the knee to generate force. And he's able to do that pretty effectively. I think that Patrick Mahomes, a guy from on the Chiefs from Texas Tech, was able to do it better than anybody else that I've seen do it. And it seems to be pretty effective in generating force. So that's something that he does that I like and think that he can build off of. Go to another throw here. Okay, this one he's throwing off to the side. What I also like about his throw is that it's not very efficient or inefficient when he gets back through the motion. So he does a good job. Once he gets his elbow up to here, he is able to just get that ball right through. There's a lot of times kids that come into the lab where they're getting that ball way back behind their head. He does a good job of really opening up those shoulders at the right time to make it so that ball doesn't get behind the head too much. You can see, though, that he has that trouble getting onto that front leg. Is another example where he's trying to shift his weight forward and he gets that knee to rotate out, which is good. But what those really elite throwers are able to do, some guys like like a Michael Vick, like a Cam Newton, like Aaron Rodgers, those guys are all very stiff in that left hip, and they're not going to be moving to the side as they're coming through the throw. They're going to be absorbing that weight as they're transferring forward, and that's going to be something that when Jake Browning can do, I think that he's going to be, you know, somebody that really works on his mechanics and really tries to improve these areas. I think when he's able to do that a little bit more effectively, we're going to see a lot more zip on the ball, and we're also going to see, you know, a different type of Jake Browning. So, you know, as long as he can start to learn how to transfer that weight from his back leg to his front leg and be able to absorb that weight within the hip, maybe work on some, you know, foot mobility type of stuff, and then also work on his ability to just externally rotate that hip, he's going to have a lot more zip on the ball. He's already an accurate thrower, which is great. Now he's just going to have to work on being able to really hone in on developing that next level power. So thanks for watching the video. We have a lot more videos on YouTube if you want to look into other throwing breakdowns. We also have speed breakdowns if you're trying to improve your speed. We have a whole membership online, PLC membership, where we go into different ideas for how to throw more effectively as a quarterback, how to run faster, how to even throw more effectively as a pitcher. We also go into some good exercises there that I think can really be beneficial, especially as a quarterback, to be able to, you know, hone in on what are the effective ways to make your throw stronger, make it more efficient, be able to, you know, increase things like release time, really what's the best mechanics that you can get out of the throw. And then, you know, lastly, we do a individual throw breakdown. The big difference there is that if you send in yourself throwing, we can go and find individual things for you to work on within your throw, and then also provide exercises that will make it so you'll actually see improvements faster. So I definitely recommend that, especially if you're struggling with anything during your throw. And, you know, as always, thanks for watching these videos, and we will see you soon.